So as I said at the top of the broadcast, now we go on to the investigation. There are four bodies in the House and Senate going to do it. The Foreign Affairs Committee, the chairman is Democrat Gregory Meeks in the House. Okay? The Armed Services Committee, the chairman is Adam Smith in the House. The Senate Armed Services Committee, Jack Reed is chairman. Foreign Relations Committee, Bob Menendez of New Jersey, chairman. All four of those chairmen are, of course, Democrats because the Democrats hold the power in both the Senate and the House. Joining us now is former Republican Congressman Pete King. He served for 18 years, served our country for 18 years, and he was the House Homeland Security Committee chair from 2011 to 2013. So in these committees, we've seen partisan displays almost every time there's something investigated. Best is Brett Kavanaugh, which was a disgraceful expedition. Do you think that this Afghan stuff is going to be partisan with the Democrats in charge?
It will be partisan, but the four chairmen you're talking about there are among the more normal Democrats, if I could put it that way. It's not going to be, I hope, not similar to the Brett Kavanaugh extravaganza that went on. That was just a disgrace. Thank God it's not Adam Schiff, that he's not involved, or Benny Thompson, the Homeland Security Committee. They'd be much more partisan. But what is important here is I hope the chairman themselves, Jack Reed also, he's a West Point graduate, he's a pretty dedicated guy, that they have some leverage here, or they have some leeway in which way the committees are going to go. It could well be that Chuck Schumer is going to control the Democratic hearings or the Senate hearings, and Nancy Pelosi the House hearings, and they can do that with pressure. They can just sort of put their foot down and put limitations on how long the hearings are going to go, how many witnesses can be called. Generally, the majority party calls two of the three witnesses or three of the four witnesses, depending on how many panels you have. So you can stack the investigation in a way that it can cover up what's happening. And then in that case, it's really up to the Republicans to do their work. And in the time available to them with their questioning, that they really ask tough questions. And it's not just enough to ask questions that day, like if Blinkley's out there or Secretary Austin, they can filibuster and they can, during a 3-minute or 5-minute question and answer session, they can run out the clock. So it's important to have research done beforehand, have sources in the Defense Department, in the State Department, people who know what's going on in the White House, and find out what Joe Biden knew, when he knew it. Did he ever approach this with an open mind? Or did he just come in and tell his people, I want us out of Afghanistan no matter what? Did he ever consider, for instance, maintaining a small base of operations out of Afghanistan? Did he ever consider extending the time? And instead, it appears as if he put pressure on the Afghans to move more quickly and to put a more rosy picture on it that was really happening. So a lot's going to depend on the Republicans and the minority. I think Menendez and Reed will be reasonably fair in the Senate. Greg Meeks, I know him fairly well. They're going to be under pressure. And also Adam Smith, of the four of them, is probably the guy who would be considered most pro-military, if you will, or pro-strong national defense. But it's going to be tough.
I can't imagine the Democrats throwing Biden under the bus, trying to hurt Biden. I just can't imagine it. So even the witnesses that are going to be called, are you telling me that only the Democrats have the power to name the witnesses they want, or do the Republicans, they can call one? Is that what you said?
Generally, the way it's done is if there's going to be four, it depends on how many panels, how many series of witnesses, but usually 1/3 or 1/4 of the witnesses can be called by the minority party. I think what the Democrats are going to try to do is obfuscate and create this equivalence between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and they're also going to go back probably to George W. Bush, and they're going to try and make this one big confusing situation. And yeah, Joe Biden wasn't perfect, but he made the best of a bad situation. I think that's what they're going to try and say. Not give an outright defense. They're going to say, but the poor guy, he made the best of a terrible situation that he was left.
Now, if you lie before the committees, that's a felony, correct?
Yes, it is, yeah.
All right. So, but you don't have to answer a yes or no question, even if the Republicans do research and do have facts. You can ask a question to, I don't know, Blinken or whoever is there, and Blinken doesn't really have to answer it. It's not like me interviewing you. If you don't answer, I can come in and, browbeat you on the air. They can't do that, right?
Well, they can try, but then their 5 minutes will run out, and then the time will go over to a Democrat who will try to rehabilitate Blinken. So now, generally, a clever witness can run out the clock, and if he doesn't want to give an honest answer, but not necessarily give a dishonest answer, he can put out a confusing message, and he can delay it, use a lot of big words, and then they say, time's expired.
That's bloviating.
There you go.
I don't know whether you saw the interview last night that we did with Senator Lieberman, but it was quite something because he's a very knowledgeable guy, a Democrat, but he knows as much about the world as anyone. And his point of view on Afghanistan is, 180 degrees opposite the president's. But the thing that I asked him was, Joe Biden for decades. You served with Biden. You were friendly with Biden. Okay? Is he a diminished man? And Lieberman said, yeah. Do you see that? I mean, you don't know Biden as much because you're in the House, but I think that this is getting to be a crisis as far as his ability to actually do the job as president.
Yeah, let me say two things. First of all, with Joe Biden, you cannot get a more honorable, decent, or straightforward guy with no rancor or malice at all than Joe Biden. He's absolutely probably the best person I met in the whole 28 years I was down in Congress. That's number one. Number
Are you
two,
talking about Biden or are you talking about Lieberman?
No, I'm sorry, Joe Lieberman.
You said Biden, so
I meant Joe Lieberman.
I just saved your butt now, Congressman. So you're talking about Joseph Lieberman, not Joe Biden. Go ahead.
Lieberman is honest and, in fact, more honest and has more class and quality than anyone I ever met in Congress. Now, as far as Joe Biden, I didn't know him obviously as well as Joe Lieberman, but I met him a number of times, and I always felt that even though sometimes he would say some flaky things or whatever, but he was pretty sharp. His eyes were sort of penetrating. He would look at you when he was talking. Now he has that sort of vague look in his eye, and he seems to be wandering. And no, I think, listen, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, but I definitely think that Joe Biden has slipped. And, the level of it we'll have to look at, but no, he has definitely slipped.
Do you have any information or opinion on who is the real power in the White House right now?
I'm only going on secondhand information. I've heard Susan Rice may have much more impact than she should. And she, of course, will be very close to the Obamas. So maybe you can add up, 2 and 2 there and get 4. Hopefully it's not 2 and 2 adds 5. But I mean, it's I don't think Blinken really is that influential.
No.
So I don't know who it is. I mean, Ron Klink is the chief of staff. I think it's Ron Klein. He's a pretty able guy. But I don't know with President Biden. Even like on Afghanistan, I mean, everything he said has been wrong from the beginning. And listen, he could have a policy I can strongly disagree with. If he has coherent reasons for it, that's his prerogative as president. I just feel he's just running loose here.
Okay, Congressman, we really appreciate it. Thank you very much for helping us out. And you can hear the Congressman on WABC Radio. I interact with him there sometimes, and very nice of you to help us out, Congressman. We'll talk again.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Right.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, I'm sure you've noticed that everything is getting more expensive. And with all this printing money and spending by the progressives, I'm concerned the dollar's end could be near. If the government continues this way, the dollar could freefall and lose its coveted role as the world's reserve currency. That's why there's never been a more important time to consider gold and silver to protect you and your family. And American Hartford Gold is the only company I'm happy to put my name behind. I have done business with them myself. It just takes a quick phone call and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA. Plus, tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. So please don't wait. Call 866-501-5201, 866-501-5201, or text Bill to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201, or text Bill to 65532. Bill O'Reilly here. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure you subscribe to the First TV YouTube page. Just hit the big red subscribe button below and you'll get clips and highlights of my program, The No Spin News, every single day. We'll see you soon.